Today is International Literacy Day, and I'm sitting here with my panel of Zenex colleagues to reflect on some of our work in the past 25 years. As we know, literacy is a fundamental human right, and it is the foundation for all learning. So we are coming together with the rest of the education community to raise awareness about the importance of literacy and also to share our work and important lessons. I'm going to start with Gail. Gail, what are the 4 pillars of our Zenex literacy strategy?
We've always been involved in literacy, and over the last 25 years, it's been a learning journey. Zenex works in partnership, and the work we're going to talk about today, we've partnered with one government at various levels, with researchers, academics, M&E practitioners, NGOs. Let's not forget the schools and the teachers that we've worked with. Now, turning to our pillars, we do interventions directly in schools with teachers, and we do pilots where we want to learn something new, like, for example, looking at group guided reading, and how we can find a simpler way of implementing it in our classrooms. The second pillar is our research program, and our research is about understanding the literacy sector. Our third is we've been involved in developing materials for teachers and learners. We've developed lesson plans in all 9 African languages for teachers to use in the teaching of literacy. And lastly, while we're working with teachers in school, we also have an interest in developing the next cadre of foundation phase teachers, and this we're doing through internship programs.
Thanks, Gail. Lauren, I'll turn to you now. Gail spoke about materials development, and I know you're very passionate about Ulwazi Lwethu. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your literacy programs, particularly Ulwazi Lwethu?
Sure, Tabby. So, Tabby, one of the reasons why children have difficulty in reading is that our classrooms either have no books or they have they don't have the right kind of books in the classrooms. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to develop books. So we wanted to develop children's books, firstly, with the purpose of learning to read, but also secondly, to allow children to expand their vocabulary, to fuel their imagination, and also to broaden their knowledge of the world. And so what Zenex did in response to this is that we partnered with 4 of the best literacy organizations in South Africa. And we asked them to do 4 things. One, we asked them to recruit young, emergent writers. Secondly, we asked them to write children's books in the 9 African languages. Thirdly, we also asked them to write books that children can relate to, that reflect their lived reality. So we're currently in development of the children's books, and we will be making them available in mid-2022, where all 1,800 of these exciting, game-changing children's books will be available to the school community. We've partnered with an organization to make all these books on an online library. Teachers, parents, children will be able to access all of these books on a computer, on their tablet, or even on their mobile phones.
Sure, thanks, Lauren. So I'll turn to you, Kaya, now. Kaya, last week, the Minister of Basic Education spoke about some of the learning losses and the time lost as a result of the pandemic. What are your thoughts on that?
Thanks, Tabby. Thanks for the question. I mean, I think as a sector and as a foundation, we are all concerned about the extent and the severity of the learning losses suffered, particularly as it relates to foundation phase. And I think we know in many ways that even before COVID, children by the time they start grade 4, 8 out of 10 cannot read for meaning in any language. And so it appears that COVID may have exacerbated that. And I think the time is now for partners, even as we celebrate this day, to come together as stakeholders to address some of the challenges that around literacy. Thanks.
And then, Kaya, I'd just like you to also reflect on what Zenex is doing to address some of these really deep education challenges. And if you can, just talk about some of the use of technology or making use of technology solutions to do so.
I think as Zenex, we see technology as an enabler. In the classroom, not as a means by itself. And so we use technology along with a number of other means, blended approaches to support the schooling community. And we are partnering with many other partners in the system who are kind of like providing zero-rated content online and mobile apps and all of those things to kind of like find creative ways of ensuring that we build those foundational skills that have been lost in the system.
So Kaya, I like that you are starting to touch on the fact that we work in a broader education context. And I'd like you, Gail, to reflect on that. Knowing that we are working in this education context, what are some of the challenges to look out for?
In our work, we've become really aware of the language issues.
Yeah.
And we, from the foundation, really support that children need to learn in their home language. And we've picked up that with most of the South African children who speak an African language, switching to learning in English in grade 4 is one of the reasons for our poor performance in literacy.
Yeah.
And we really think we need to start having a conversation about language issues in education. We really believe that teachers need support in the foundation phase, and we were really encouraged with the launch of the Department of Education's Teacher Assistance Program. And we hope that this can be taken forward.
Thank you, Gail, Kaya, and Lauren. And everything that we spoke about today can be accessed on the Zenex Foundation website, so we invite you to go there. Lastly, we just want to say that literacy is a burning platform, and we cannot emphasize enough the importance to collaborate on dealing with some of these literacy challenges.